Nerd Academy Podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy Podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy Podcast, your source for nerddom news and commentary. I am your host, Jarod Bachman-Stubbs. This is episode 62. We are on a roll, and we got your resident Green Lantern, Professor Travis Grossman, with a brand spanking new setup.
That just got covered in Mountain Dew.
Good.
Yeah, we made some upgrades in the bedroom.
Yes.
We don't look like garbage now.
You look phenomenal. Everything in there looks phenomenal.
What?
I heard you. I thought you were making a self-deprecating joke, but I think you were actually talking about the fact that the room looks livable now.
Because of me.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely because of you. 100%, yes.
I'm the disembodied voice.
Yes, we also have the disembodied voice of...
I'm doing homework.
She is hard at work at working on her homework. She's a little behind because you see her hair had to make a cameo in this week's episode of WandaVision. So it pushed her back a little bit.
Where's that mouse money, though?
But anyway.
My hair.
You're not getting royalties on the flow check. But we got a fun episode for you guys. Light news week. It's basically just going to be 2 stories and then WandaVision. And then next week will be our WandaVision season review. We're going to be joined by our pals over at the Comic Book Cast again for that. I'm expecting some gloating from Mitch because he called me an idiot on and off air about being very ride or die for Mephisto, and we know how that turned out. But that's
I haven't watched it.
But yeah, so we're going to jump into our first story this week, and
that I haven't looked at because you told me not to look at the notes.
I told you not to look at the notes, mostly for the second story we're going to cover, both of which are Snyder Cut related, because that's also on the way. Also, again, we'll be joined by our pals at the Comic Book Cast for that. So keep an eye out for all of that fun stuff. So there were some storyboards from some of the planned Justice League sequels that Mr. Snyder was going to be involved with. And according to these storyboards, there was going to be a plot point that involved Batman impregnating Lois Lane while Superman was still in the dirt.
I'm not even like that aside, because like that's up Snyder's alley. I want to call out CBR for a second for this picture they used in the article. Just look at this. Like, please just bask in the glory of this Batman onesie for a baby that, like, some versions of Bruce would despise and other versions of Bruce would definitely buy for his child.
Yeah, this version of Bruce definitely would not. I'll read directly from here. According to the storyboard, Justice League 2 would have featured Batman discovering Lois was pregnant, only for her to insist the child wasn't his. 5 years later, in Justice League 3, the Flash would have traveled back in time to tell Bruce, quote, "Lois lied to you. You're the father." This would prompt Batman to dive in front of Darkseid's Omega beams, which killed Lois in the previous timeline, but only injured Bruce in this one. In the ensuing battle against Darkseid, Batman would sacrifice himself to save the world. Then when the dust settled, Superman would learn Lois was carrying Bruce's child before admitting that he always knew. Nevertheless, he'd embrace her, seemingly agreeing to father the child in Bruce's absence. 20 years later, Commissioner Barbara Gordon would meet with Lois.
Hold on. I gotta interject really quick. They link to the tweets, and all the tweets are gone now. Like all the media in them. But the first reply,
I saw that the tweets were gone, so that's why I didn't just pull up the tweets directly from those. That's why I'm going off of the article.
Yeah, that's fine. It's just that the first reply to the tweets, which was clearly made when they were still there, just says, "What kind of garbage fan fiction is this?" which, if I had any way to describe how I felt about most of Snyder's comic book movies,
20 years later, Commissioner Barbara Gordon would meet with Lois after a memorial for Batman and ask her if she ever planned to tell her son about his true parentage. This would prompt Lois to show her son the Batcave and would reveal the truth. Justice League 3 would then end with a new Batman rising from the shadows. There was also an explanation from Mr. Snyder talking about how he always had plans for Lois and Bruce to have a thing. And that's kind of how they come to the conclusion that bringing Superman back is the only way to stop Darkseid and Steppenwolf. There's a line where that involves like, I've never had a life outside of the cage. I never imagined a world for me beyond this, but this woman makes me think that if I can get away from this group of gods together, then I can get this group of gods together, then my job is done. I can quit. I can stop.
That was in the interview from last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
So yeah, that's a fun little nugget. Travis, beyond the fan fiction joke, do you have any thoughts on this?
So when I read it, and like, because again, the idea of Bruce falls in love with Lois Lane or whatever, I hate it because like it takes away from his reasoning to revive Superman, where he's like, it feels very contrived where like she's the one that would tell him, hey, bring back Clark. You know?
Yeah.
Instead of him just like being a human being. God forbid someone is a person in a Zack Snyder movie. But yeah. I want to kind of see the storyboards just so I can get even more upset about them. So I might hunt those down later tonight.
Stay tuned to Travis's Twitter, everybody. Might go on a little scavenger hunt. Can we please kill the trope of Batman like nailing his best friend's significant others? Can we please just leave that behind forever?
No, never.
I think Batman sleeping with like the significant others of his like closest friends and partners is the only thing I dislike more than a Batman who kills. Like legitimately, I dislike it. Like I would,
and I love that Snyder's is both.
He's got the 1-2 punch of bad Batman shit. Like, oh my God. Ben Affleck does so much work to keep this Batman watchable.
If we actually ever got a real Dark Knight Returns adaptation, he would do a great job. Like this Batman would be okay, but this ain't it, Chief.
No. I just don't like that. I don't mind the idea of Batman fooling around with Lois, like while Lois and Clark are still smitten. Like before anything real happens between Clark and Lois, like in the animated universe, where there was that like brief moment where like Bruce Wayne was hitting on her, but it was like with the assumption of just she does not know that he's the Batman. She's not serious with Clark or Superman yet. It's just, this, handsome billionaire is, a handsome billionaire who's charming and shit, and they're cool. This is gross.
That's gonna be my opening line on the Snyder Cut review is, well, that was gross.
That was gross. Lexi, any thoughts?
I hate it. That's all. It just feels icky. It feels icky. I don't know. Like, they're supposed to be like, I don't know if brothers is necessarily the right word, but it just feels,
I think certain versions that's definitely valid.
It just feels icky. That's all.
I hate that he goes like at the end of Batman v Superman at Clark's funeral, like the one in Kansas, that Bruce looks at Diana and says, I failed him in life. I won't fail him in death. Like, what did you think?
His fucking...
his almost wife.
Yeah, his almost
whose relation, like his relationship with her, we saw none of. They talked. They were dating seriously. And we got one scene of each, and that was it.
Yep.
Then cut to Bruce, who has even less screen time with Lois. Who literally, their only conversation is Martha is his mother's name. And then Bruce just looking at Superman's corpse like, I feel partially responsible for some of this. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I feel like this is kind of my fault. And the fact,
take me.
The fact that this version of like in this version of the death of Superman, Batman holds himself personally responsible for Superman getting killed, as he should. I'll say a good 30% of Superman dying rests on Batman's shoulders. How in the ever-loving fuck does this version of Bruce, who's like, I caused this, it's my responsibility to find a group of people who could rise to Superman's occasion, I have to fix this. That same character that Zack wrote himself is the same one that's like, hey, Lois, there's the eyebrow smoothing out thing. I don't understand it, and it is just,
just hey, Lois.
Watch the YouTube version because Travis did a terrifying wink.
Ew.
Anyway.
Ew.
I'm interested in this other link that doesn't have a thing in the notes and just says it's a Variety article and just says Zack Snyder, Justice League, HBO Max, Tom and Jerry.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So let's see.
Uh-huh.
What do we got?
Uh-huh.
Don't click on it. Okay, Travis, I have a hypothetical for you. Oh, did you open it?
I just read the actual headline. Let me check my HBO Max.
It's not there anymore.
Oof. I couldn't just get it out of the way now.
Alexis, are you seeing this? Are you aware of what you're looking at?
I'm not seeing it. I'm a little aware of what you're about to talk about, but not entirely.
So today, at time of record, a little over an hour ago, some poor individual decided they were going to try to watch the new Tom and Jerry movie on HBO Max. And much to their surprise, the Snyder Cut started.
Nice.
I don't know how quickly WB got on this. I'm assuming very. However, from what I understand, even after they fixed it, if you were already watching it, you could still finish it.
Ooh.
So there are a handful of people out there floating around on the interwebs who have seen the entirety of the Snyder Cut already.
Darn. I was hoping. I just pulled up Tom and Jerry. I wanted to see if it would work.
It opens with, "Can I kick it?" Okay, that's an interesting choice for Tom and Jerry.
I've heard it's quite the dog shit movie.
That's unfortunate.
Travis, what was the verbiage you and I used when this got announced?
This was
right.
Yeah, this was a draft that got wrote up in 2004 that sat in a filing cabinet for like probably, I said what, 2004? 14 to 15 years. And then like last year in quarantine, they went, "Hey, we're kind of bored. You want to make that Tom and Jerry script we never finished?"
Basically. Now, for our listeners, I know there is at least one of you who really, really, really is excited for the Snyder Cut. I advise you to avoid social media at all costs. I have seen screenshots and I know things now.
Now I want to know things.
We can talk about things after the show because I do not want to discuss things that should not be out there
I don't
already.
like knowing things too.
Cool.
We can have a discussion afterwards.
I'm not going to say that because if people have been listening to Movie Club, then it'll definitely be a spoiler if I say what I was about to say. So, yeah, it leaked and people watched the whole goddamn movie.
If that happened to me, I would definitely watch it the whole way through because I know if I tried to come back, it would be gone.
So right here, it says about an hour into the feed, Bass, the gentleman who started, said he started to notice the definition of the image began to degrade, and then an error message appeared on his screen, and then the film did disappear. That said, by the looks of it and by what I've seen, this guy got a decent way through the movie. Like, I just using like the intuition of somebody who has seen a lot of movies, there's no way the thing I saw happens within the first 20 minutes. But
is that when Captain Marvel shows up?
Yeah.
Brie Larson's Captain Marvel.
You and I both know that wouldn't go over well with the Snyder Bros. So here's what I will say, and do with this information what you will. Bass says that he's never been a huge DC fan, including the 2017 theatrical cut of Justice League. But after getting a preview of Snyder's restored version, which runs just over 4 hours in total, Bass says he's a convert. I plan to watch it after the 18th at some point, but now I'm ready for the 18th. This is the best DC film I've ever seen.
I mean, I kind of said this back when the Snyder Cut got announced. This will be the most coherent Snyder movie besides Man of Steel, I think, just because, we know he had to cut a bunch of stuff and scrap a bunch of stuff for BVS. Obviously, theatrical Justice League is just a shit show. I think that, like, by comparison, this won't have, like, the glaring problems that Justice League had before, just because there won't be missing pieces.
Yeah.
And also, to give credit where credit's due, Zack Snyder's cinematography is good. So it will look good.
It will definitely be easy on the eyes.
But besides that, I think Shazam and Aquaman and Wonder Woman 1984. Did I miss any?
Birds of Prey.
And Birds of Prey all have it beat. And I haven't seen it yet.
I am legitimately looking forward to it. Like, the closer we get, the closer I am getting legitimately excited
I realized this yesterday, the day before. It's also Saiyan Day. So I don't even get to celebrate Saiyan Day. I have to deal with Snyder Cut.
What if something happens in the Snyder Cut that is so insane and so egregious? That is the rage you need to call on your Super Saiyan form.
I'd live with it.
Also, this isn't spoiler territory because they're just dropping clips and TV spots left and right over these past few days. Based off of what I'm seeing in those teasers and whatnot, Travis, I think you no-scoped your theory.
Yeah.
Like, I think you crushed it. I put my stock behind what you were saying because I wanted that to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
I will be stunned if you are wrong. Like, I will be absolutely slack-jawed, flabbergasted, befuddled. Whatever word you want to use for surprised. If you were not right with what you outlined and what we talked about whenever Mitch and Armin were on, you're right. You have to be right. I don't think there's any way you're not right at this point.
Maybe I'll finally watch those TV spots then, because I've been not like avoiding them for any spoiler reasons. I just didn't care. I was like, I don't need this today.
I'll say, like, whenever we talk about the stuff I saw with the leaks, if you want me to just save you time, we could talk about that, because I also don't want to get into the TV spots for people who are avoiding them. Like, I was avoiding them, but like they just showed up as ads that I couldn't skip. So I was kind of stuck in the situation where I had to watch it. So I didn't have much say about it. But yeah, that's all we really have for news this week.
I can't even think of some little things.
Neither can I. WandaVision's dominated the news cycle. Oh, we got character posters for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's pretty much it. Zemo is going to be a hoot.
Hoot hoot.
Hoot hoot.
It's a Pokemon.
I did not know that, but that does not surprise me. All right. WandaVision talk.
I'm ready.
Travis, thoughts on the episode, sir?
It was good.
We have the same reaction every time.
Yeah. I mean, like, there hasn't been a bad episode of the show. Nothing has really disappointed me. You know, again, I think Hayward, that's his name.
Yeah, Tyler Hayward.
He's like, again, he's the B- in a sea of A+. So, like, you take what you can get. There was only one really bad CG shot in the episode, and it wasn't a vision, which surprised me.
What was it? What I think we might
the
have
close-up when she's like firing off at Agatha, and that one close-up of her face after she's been drained.
Yeah.
It was bad. It was really not good. I also, while we were watching it, I threw out the idea that part of the reason they went with White Vision at the end, because my Ultron theory was wrong, and I'm okay with that, because I was right on something else, and I felt very vindicated. But I think part of the reason they went with White Vision was so they didn't have to finish animating in a second fully colored Vision.
I will give you this ground with the Ultron thing, though. They put the same kind of like flavor on the voice that they do for Ultron.
Yeah. The thing I was right about was that the vision from the Hex came directly from her link with the Mind Stone.
Yes,
so, like, his consciousness was living in her. And I was just like, am right. big win. Success.
All the memes about it aside, I think one of my highlights of the whole series was the Ship of Theseus conversation.
Paul Bettany's been my like favorite of the show, right? Like I've always enjoyed Vision, but like I really liked his acting specifically in the show. And so they were like, okay, how can we make Paul Bettany even better? Have him act off of himself.
Oh my God. I love how I mean, again, people, we theorize responsibly. You know, we've been having fun with some theories between Ultron and Mephisto and what have you. You know, we've been poking around in here. I really, really enjoy the fact that Paul Bettany's like, oh, we have a big cameo. I got to work with an actor I've always liked. It was him. It was him. He was talking about himself. I think that's the funniest shit ever. I don't know. If I ever got to like meet Paul Bettany and like get his autograph, I would want him to sign it, my favorite actor, Paul Bettany. Or something to that effect. And it'd be like the Ship of Theseus scene. But it was phenomenal. Lexi, I feel like you haven't, and Travis, I think you haven't either. Have either of you seen like the Ang Lee Hulk movie that came out in like 2003?
When I was a wee babby.
Okay.
I did when I was younger. Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you'd seen that one. Cool.
I think so, yeah. It's been a long time, and I don't remember because I have a hard time remembering movies in general. So
I was a child. It was on while I was playing with toys, and I remembered none of it. So
yeah.
I watched it a lot as a kid. There was like a year or two where I was like really, really into that movie. I had it on VHS. If you were to go back and watch the Ang Lee Hulk, especially the final fight with Banner's father, and then watch the end of WandaVision and the final battle with Agatha Harkness, it's practically the same scene. Because Banner's father in the Ang Lee Hulk, his whole thing is that like he's capable of like draining energy and like rematerializing himself as whatever energy he's absorbed. And he's trying to like absorb the Hulk's power. And literally like the final moment is Hulk basically overpowering his father, where he's like, you know, you want this power, take it all. Like he says almost identically what Wanda says. And I thought it was neat that like they're basically the same fight scene. But yeah. Lexi, thoughts on the episode? You've been very happy on the Bird app.
Can you hand me Desmond?
Oh, yeah. Here's my dragon orb.
Desmond.
Pleasure to meet you.
He still has his tag. Okay. I do think it was my favorite episode, and unfortunately it was the final episode.
Wow.
I enjoyed everything from the show. I have no complaints. Everything, it just kept me at the edge of my seat. Paul Bettany, I never thought twice of him. Like, not that I disliked him or disliked Vision, I just didn't care as much. This made me love them so much. I love him. I love Wanda. I love them as actors. Anyway, they did a phenomenal job. Even, what's her name? Agatha's real life name.
Vaughn.
Yes, I love her. I think she's hilarious. And this was a perfect role for her. The kids were great.
Surprisingly good child actors.
Yeah.
Like,
they weren't
really good.
They weren't too annoying, and they weren't
the little ones, like the 4-year-olds, weren't good because they were. I mean,
they were young.
They were like 7 or 8, but like, yeah, I was worried because I was like, please don't make them staples. and then they aged one more time, and I was like, oh, perfect. Like, we're good.
It just, I guess this is for a reason, but Evan Peters felt out of place, which it makes sense. I love him. He just felt out of place. I don't know. It just felt like he was playing a character from American Horror Story a little bit, but that's just because everybody associates him with that, I think, rather than Quicksilver or anything else.
I think what you just said with that, I think there is something really interesting with that, though. That not only do you get the, oh, well, he was like a different version of Quicksilver, you also get that like immediate distrust of him, because any other time he's been in a mystery show, he is not on the good guy team. he is one of the gnarly ones.
Not really, but I mean,
the ones I saw, at least
more often than not, I guess so. But there was a few roles he had in American Horror Story that he wasn't the bad guy.
You've seen more than I have, so you're almost certain, right? I just know
that he was in. I mean, the majority of them, yes, he ends up having something to do with whatever. But yeah, he just was like, yeah, I'm here, you know. Yeah, that. Like, you automatically felt uneasy with him, but also comforted at the same time. It was really weird. Like, he added a nice, what's it called? Comedic relief, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now Wanda, and I've said this before, I didn't ever really know my favorite Marvel character. I always just sided with either Spider-Man or Cap. Usually Spider-Man, I would say, was my favorite. But for years, I've been trying to figure out who's my favorite Marvel character. Like, who's my favorite woman? Jarod kept saying Captain Marvel, but it didn't seem like that was my... Like, I didn't feel like it was my character. Wanda, Scarlet Witch, is now my character. And I've said this last show, mostly because of the trauma. But...
every time you say it, my brain is like because you keep putting it between the sparkle emojis when you type it. Yeah. I'm like seeing the sparkle emojis now.
That's the point. But
trauma.
Yes, Desmond, trauma. I just really liked seeing her backstory, and I liked seeing her pain, and that I don't mean that in like a horrible, gross, weird way, but I liked seeing more to her than just the girl with the magic hands,
wiggly woos
in the tracksuit or whatever. Now it's really funny because you two knew before I even saw the suit. You guys saw the costume? I did not. I freaked out. I loved that. Her hair. I'm cosplaying her. She's me. It's me. Like, I don't know if you can really tell, but my hair is like red right now. I'm cosplaying Wanda.
So real quick, on that very specific note, did Travis tell you yet, like, explicitly about the conversation we had in the Sheets parking lot?
Yes.
Okay, so behind the scenes,
it was the first words she spoke after seeing the costume. Were I want that.
Yes,
because I make a point of watching like at the ungodly hour because I like being first in line for this kind of stuff. I like midnight premiere type shit. So I wake up, or at the very least watch it very, very, very first thing.
I'm usually like that, but there was something about Disney Plus shows when I know, like especially this one, where I was like, I have until Monday that I have to watch it. So I'm not even gonna I'm just gonna stay off Twitter. It's fine.
For me, I forget. I forget to stay off Twitter. Now, Go ahead.
I woke up, watched the show, and Wanda has her transformation moment, and I out loud to myself in the middle, and I went, "Oh, Lexi's gonna go ape shit." Just like the aesthetic of the costume, the fact that she has your hair.
It's literally my hair. Like,
It's
go to
literally
my Twitter,
your
go to
hair.
my Instagram, you'll see it's literally my hair. And I've never felt so validated and seen. I just fell in love with her. I fell in love with the whole thing, the aesthetic of the outfit, of the show, of everything. I just love Scarlet Witch.
I'm mad.
Why?
I missed the perfect opportunity for the name in the call. It should have been the Ship of Theseus.
What is it now?
Lonk.
What the heck?
When I asked him for the link in chat, I put Lonk by accident.
Oh.
So in the moment, I just went, "Oh, Lonk." And now talking about it, I should have just put the Ship of Theseus. Or like one of the rotting planks on the Ship of Theseus.
But yeah,
This
I'm
light
so
makes me
happy.
so washed out.
It's very bright. You want me to turn it down?
No, because then I won't be able to see. I keep putting my glasses on and off because I just don't like how I look in glasses, and then I put them on because I want to see what's going on, and then I see myself, and then I hate it, so then I take my glasses off. Sorry, just girly things. And I don't know what Megan's doing. But anyway, Wanda. I'm Wanda. I am Scarlet Witch. Pietro.
I love that. I'm just so happy for you that you found your Marvel person. I already know what I'm getting you for Birthmas this year. Like straight up from your reaction to the finale, I was like, I know what I'm doing. I already know.
Like this show topped Mandalorian for me.
That was my next question. That was my next question.
I think I like this more than Mandalorian.
And I'm sorry to those of you who disagree. But it took me a hot minute to get into The Mandalorian. I wasn't sure if I was liking it or not. It was very different than what I usually like. And I wasn't in love with Grogu at first. I thought he was a little weirdo, a little creepy little guy who was like oddly cute, but like more often than not disgusted me. Not like disgusted, but like
disgusting.
No, I don't know if that's the right word, but he just like creeped me out a little bit. And then I grew to love him. And then he ate the eggs, and then I got mad again. So I liked WandaVision more.
I like them a lot in different ways. Like I anything Star Wars is gonna be preferred by me because that's my top fandom for me. Like anything Star Wars is going to be better. Like the worst Star Wars material, in my opinion, for me, is going to be more entertaining to me on a certain level than like the best of anything else. And that's just a bias I have to address anytime talking about this stuff. But like, I think almost everybody, this was like with all the Marvel stuff that got announced at Comic-Con, what, 2-3 years ago at San Diego at this point? I think this was everybody's like, oh, cool, a Scarlet Witch show. Cool. Mm-hmm. Moving on. Moon Knight, Falcon Winter Soldier. You know, like everybody's like going ape shit over all the other shows that got announced. Everybody slept on this. Everybody was.
When they announced everything, I wasn't like super excited for any of it, but I was interested in WandaVision out of all of it just because of the aesthetic it gave off, and I love all of the eras. I mean, of course, everybody kind of does, but like they hit every era perfectly, you know, and I love the 50s aesthetic a lot, so they won me over with that right away, like the 40s, 50s, and it was just perfect.
I learned recently, I think it was from a video Nando V Movies did, that apparently they had Dick Van Dyke as a advisor for some of the early episodes. They had him on hand to be like making sure shit was going the way it should and making sure they were capturing the spirit of those early shows.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. It shows, though. It shows that he had a hand in helping craft the world of, like, especially the early era sitcom stuff. Oh, I lost it. Also, I thought this show was in the can before the pandemic. They got shut down. They were only halfway through the season whenever, like, everything went into lockdown.
That makes sense, though, because of when they, like, the original release slate. They wouldn't have had to have been done right away, right? So this 100% struck me as something that was already in the can. Like, you know, Falcon and the Winter Soldier wrapped up principal photography like maybe a year, like under a year ago. You know, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier was going to the last minute, and I really thought WandaVision was in the can. So I'm very impressed by all of this. I didn't know this got affected by COVID at all. So that is what it is. Quick little theory and headcanon fanon type stuff that I've been seeing floating around on the internet. Just because I want to depress everybody. Have you guys seen anybody talking about the likelihood that Billy knew it was coming? Because he would have been able to read Wanda's mind. So he knew. Aw. There was a moment during their goodbye scene where she goes, thanks you for choosing to have me as a mom or whatever. Where I looked at her and I was like, did she just steal 2 random kids? That's how that read to me. That like when the Hex went away, they were going to still be there as just random children. And it terrified me. Clearly that wasn't the case. I do have a theory about who they were, though.
I'm interrupting you. Did you intentionally do your LEDs to be Scarlet Witch and Vision colors tonight?
No. The strings running here.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna there are like actually multicolored, but the only thing you see on camera is the red. And then this is my favorite color to have the strings and stuff.
Okay.
It's a nice glow.
It just occurred to me. I was like, did he do red and green on purpose? Anyway.
No, not at all. But yeah, I think for the kids and for Hex Vision, she pulled versions of them from other timelines.
Interesting.
Because she mentions that like she gave Vision a form, that like what's in here came from her, but the body formed on its own. I think she pulled it from another timeline, and that's why she can hear one of the kids calling for her when she's studying at the end.
Okay, I want to talk about that because
I also,
okay.
One more thing. I think that fly-in shot, I think that's a person. I think we're seeing something in first person.
That's interesting.
And my reasoning is because the fly-in shot is very choppy. Specifically the landing. And
okay,
either that's the last thing they did and they needed to get it in and like be out as COVID, you know, for restrictions or whatever. And they was like, we just need to get this one shot and we'll be done. Or it's a person and like the kind of not shaky cam, but the like jostling that happens there as they're like walking through it, like they land and they walk through. I think it's a person.
If it's landing and walking through and it kind of comes in through a window and a wall, might be White Vision, who is just kind of floating around out there now. Also, I want to address this, and then I want to talk like credit scenes and theory shit. I like that this because I've seen a lot of people talking about how they were really hoping that this show wasn't going to boil down to woman going through trauma is the villain trope, but also recognizing what Wanda did was messed up, but also acknowledging she wasn't aware she was doing it for the majority of this. I love that the moment she becomes like completely cognizant of what she's doing, it's a wrap. And she brings down the hex, tells everybody to leave. Like, I love that she did not hesitate to pull the plug on what she was doing. Because I've seen a lot of people, either be it memes or like a legitimate critique of like whenever Monica says, they'll never know what you sacrificed, Wanda, going like, what the fuck are you talking about? You mean sacrificed? You abducted all of us. Wanda could have made the choice to just keep going.
We both thought for a hot minute that the hex was going to stop over the house.
I thought she was just going to dome the house.
That would have been interesting. That would have been interesting.
Like she could leave, join normal society, and then come right back into her little bubble.
Go be an Avenger and then come back.
But I kind of knew that wouldn't happen, but I was curious only because I saw a joke somewhere of like, Wanda's not the only person saying goodbye to Vision this week or something.
Oh.
So I kind of knew, like I said that and went, nah, I kind of know that doesn't happen, but.
I feel like I saw that too. I did see, okay. So before watching the show, I think I did see a picture of the outfit, but it was like closer up.
It was just of her face.
Yeah. So I don't know who did that, but
I think comicbook.com did that actually. Because that's the first time I saw it. I saw that picture that you're talking about on articles about WandaVision.
I think I saw it on TikTok.
Oh, well.
I think that's where I saw it. And I scrolled away right away.
Spoilers, man. God damn it. But yeah, I really like that once she realized what was going on, she made the right decision. And I do think it was a sacrifice. And I think that it was a very noble one. I think what they had her do was beautiful. Because now that White Vision is in play, and we talked about this last week with the idea that they do the whole White Vision thing from like, I think it was All New Avengers, where he's like, hi, I have the memories, but I don't have feelings programmed into me. You mean nothing to me. These kids mean nothing to me. Goodbye. I feel like that moment in the Ship of Theseus scene where Vision's like, hey, just let me push the person button real quick. That when Vision did that, I think, and I really hope, that means we are bypassing that moment.
What do you mean?
That like, he's actually person Vision now. Like he has more than just the memories unlocked. But
so he's just going to be New Vision.
I hope he is New Vision, and I hope that now that Wanda has processed all of the grief and trauma of not just like the conflict with Thanos, but losing Pietro and losing her family and the torture and experimentation by Hydra. Now that she has finally accepted that and has grown from it and has learned to accept the things that she cannot change, that she will truly have her next chance with Vision. And because of that goodbye, where she's like, if I said goodbye to you before I can see you again, which did not handle that one well. I managed to not cry the entire episode until that line of dialogue.
Yeah, I was crying.
That is what did me in. I was like, wow, this is just such a perfect bow. I was too much enjoying just how well the finale was handled. And then we got there and then I was gone. But because there's that you hope a promise that they will be reunited. I hope that, I don't want to say necessarily as a reward, but like as the bow to put on her arc is, you are ready to truly be in love with Vision now. Like, you guys are ready for each other 100%. And we're ready to rock and roll. And I hope that she gets reunited with Vision, whatever color scheme he may have by that point. And Travis, going back to what you brought up with Billy and Tommy being somewhere locked in the multiverse, I think I'm on the same wavelength as you, but in the other direction. That by eliminating the hex and closing down shop on all of that, that they kind of had to go somewhere.
So they were created in the hex and then got pushed to another timeline.
Timeline or just like in the in-between of the multiverse.
Okay.
And
between worlds, if you will.
Nice. I like that. Yeah, they're in a world between worlds. Thank you for reminding me of a concept from the other franchise. Don't know why I didn't say that. That's my thing. I think I agree with you, but backwards, because it made sense for Vision to just disappear because he was not truly there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he was like complete. He, like you said, like born out of the Mind Stone that lives within Wanda. The kids were created. Like, she physically gave birth to them. They existed in like corporeal form.
Oh, okay. Just because.
Sorry.
It's all right. I don't know why the kids thing confuses me, because they were being like ripped apart as the town was dispersing whenever she was like letting everybody go, you know, and they were just like disappearing. So then I got really confused because I was wondering if like she actually birthed them or they were just another Vision put together type thing, you know?
Yeah.
On the ground, like.
I think that also, I don't want to say that effect looked bad, but I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Not in like I thought it was bad. I didn't like it. Just it made me feel gross. I think Wanda either created a pocket dimension by closing the hex, or she's kind of scattered. Because again, like Agatha Harkness is still alive and on the board. Which, thank you, Marvel. Can we stop killing all the villains?
Yeah.
Like,
I quite like Agatha.
What?
I like Agatha a lot too. Even though she's annoying, pardon me. But
I think she'll make an excellent foil if she shows up in Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, and I think she will. I think they're gonna have to ask her to help to do something or find the boys.
Mm-hmm.
Because she might be a tether to the boys too. Somehow she'll know how to get them back.
Good point.
Or whatever.
I so hope she's in Multiverse of Madness, just because I want to see her interact with Strange. Because, you know, clearly she's aware of the Sorcerer Supreme existing. Whether or not she ever interacted with the Ancient One is unknown. I feel sneeze coming, vamp. Nope. Okay, it passed. Anyway, there it is. Anyway, hello, Desmond. I see a little wing wave. I so badly want to see her have a moment with strangers. It's something like she just kind of takes one look at him. It's like, oh, I guess they're letting anybody call themselves a Sorcerer Supreme these days. Like, I just so badly.
It'll either be that,
and then suddenly I was watching Coven.
It'll either be the like, I guess I'll let anybody do it these days, or it's gonna be the like fake bowing, like, oh, Your Majesty. Your sorcererness.
Or she's gonna try to fuck him. One of the three.
Wait, what?
Or all three. Or just
Wait.
all of them at once.
Wait, what? What's that last one?
Just because
Or
like
she
there
was
was
going
like
to try to fornicate with him.
With who?
Doctor Strange.
strange. Just because they kept making all the jokes about her and her like psychotically high libido. There was that joke before that she was like. I mean, that's how she was acting in the show, and like there were all like the like double meaning innuendo jokes she was making the whole time. So I wouldn't put her past her to like harass Strange a little bit. Also, how did you guys feel about Frank Boner? Lexi shaking her head no. Travis?
I didn't understand why that was a joke or like why it was a thing. Is that from something?
I think it's a joke I missed.
When he goes, ha, Boner.
Oh.
Because that was his last name or something. His like real person last name. Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Ralph, right?
Yeah.
Then what's Frank?
Did I say Frank?
You said Frank.
Boner.
I don't know why I said Frank. I thought I said
No.
Quasar.
Doesn't she mention their last name at some point earlier on? Like in the first episode, I think she says their name.
I think she just says Agnes.
I don't know. I thought
I don't remember. All I know is that I thought it was funny that he ended up being Ralph. The boner joke aside, I was like, oh, okay, that's funny.
My only Collider put out an amazing article recently that was titled something to the effect of it was a joking headline saying my theory about WandaVision didn't come true, therefore it's bad. So just because Fietro was not Nicholas Scratch, Cthulhu, Mephisto, Nightmare, Professor X, Magneto, or Reed Richards, whatever. Pick your character a la carte who was theorized to show up. I understand people being frustrated by the fact that the reveal of what was up with Fietro is a dick joke. Like, if it was just revealed that, like, Agatha had been making up the name Frank. Ralph, what the fuck am I getting Frank from? If she had just made up the name Ralph, like, just, like, out of thin air, or, like, she went, oh, hey, this is the guy whose house I stole, and just used that name as her husband that nobody ever sees, I don't think anybody would have been that upset.
So it's not, isn't it supposed to be a play on the other Quicksilver? Like, didn't she just pluck him out of she took Ralph, was like, haha, I'm going to put you over here as Quicksilver, and then pluck him out and put him here.
Yeah, she was mind controlling him.
To be Quicksilver.
Yes.
In the other movie.
No. I don't think this Ralph has nothing to do with the Fox universe. They just
want it to, though. I want it to be her fault that there was that Fox movie.
And who produced Dark Phoenix? It was Agatha all along.
Yes.
I understand people being upset by the dick joke thing. I like the idea that she just made up the name Ralph because, oh, this is the guy whose house I'm living in.
Yeah.
Because I'm meat puppeting him on top of Wanda's meat puppeting. I also have seen people theorizing and bringing up that Ralph might be Jimmy Woo's witness protection person. Which is the whole reason the FBI and Sword showed up at the Hex in the first place.
Yeah, we never did find out who that was.
I think it was Boner.
Wait, what?
At the beginning, the reason, I say at the beginning, but in episode 4, the reason that Wu was there in the first place and Sword gets that call is because they have someone in Westview for some reason on witness protection.
Yeah.
And
it starts at the FBI and then they call in.
Oh.
And they lose contact.
Yeah, that could be it.
I would like it if that's the case. I just think that would be a cool little bow to put on it. What do you guys think about the Skrulls?
What, the
Just
runes?
No, the Skrulls, the shapeshifters.
Oh, the green people.
Yeah.
Aliens.
The green people from outer space. It's a good tie-in. It's a good way to put Monica up on the space station.
Is the person Fury? Do you think?
I think the
or
one
is it
upstairs.
that other green guy?
I think it's
Sorry.
either.
I don't remember his name.
No, you're good. Other green guy who was impersonating Fury's Talos. I think it's Fury. I think they're referring to Fury and whatever like space station Sword has going on. I feel like somebody needs to have a conversation with Fury if he's actually. If Tyler Hayward actually no, this works out perfectly. Son of a bitch. If this takes place only weeks after Endgame, and Far From Home is several months out,
it's enough time for the space station to be up, for Fury to be in charge, for Monica to not be on world during Spider-Man, so that they don't have to worry about, well, why wasn't she doing anything? Yeah. Works out.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, how is Fury A, not the director, and B, allowing this prick to act like this? It's like, no, because Fury's probably has nothing to do with Sword at the moment, or at the very least, he's up in space and then became director after the shit with Hayward hit the fan. That's perfect. God damn, I love the MCU.
It's doing a lot better than DC. It has been for a long time.
But what, you don't like Bat Lane as a ship? That's perfect. I do think it's Fury. I do look forward to seeing Monica, Polaris / Spectrum / Quasar interact with Captain Marvel.
I want to see more powers from her. I'm excited to see what she has. Cause I forgot to talk about this. I liked the little the interaction between her and the kid. Nice tricks. I like yours too.
Oh yeah, that was really
I thought that was so cute. And I just like when her eyes start glowing and she's just like mess you up.
I love and hate when there are kids involved with this kind of stuff, because I get like viscerally angry when kids get hurt, and I also just get really happy when I see kids get protected. Like that shit with Monica where she just throws herself in front of Billy and Tommy.
Yeah, but that kid was able to protect himself though.
Exactly. Oh, it was perfect. It was so good. Also, holy shit, Hayward. Like,
shooting some.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, he's just gonna shoot a child. Like, he feels nothing right now. He feels nothing ever. That's my point, though. Like, he's just a cartoon villain.
Like, I wasn't 100% like after the last couple episodes, and like we saw what he was doing with Vision. I was like, okay, he doesn't feel quite as cartoony. He feels kind of ruthless and a dickhead, but not cartoonish. And then he just gets out of the car and just and a bunch of fucking kids
with a Glock, you finna get shot. Glock.
He's literally General Shepard from MW2. Like, he's just trying to orchestrate a way for him to become military famous. That's his only goal.
Yeah.
And for some reason, he just really fucking hates Wanda. Like, he's like, and my way to do it is to kill this very traumatized woman.
She's a witch. Burn her.
With a gun.
With a gun.
With the hey, chip and then put the blower in his lap. Yeah, no, I think this episode was great. I'm really happy with the finale. I'm so excited to see more of Scarlet Witch.
I want more. I'm so upset that was the last episode, but I'm excited for Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know who's gonna be involved. Is Loki gonna be in there somewhere too?
Probably.
And she's probably gonna have to pluck the kids out of somewhere and save them, maybe. And hopefully White Vision shows up at some point.
I really hope that the speculation that Wanda's the villain of Multiverse of Madness is wrong. That would be such a massive leap backwards for her character.
Maybe it's just going to be another thing of she doesn't know what she's doing, or Agatha's powers kind of corrupt her a little bit and take over or something, because Agatha was even you don't know what you done, you don't know what you did, and either she's not going to know that she's doing it, or she's not going to be able to control herself, or both.
Yeah, I like the idea of her causing the conflict. I don't want her to be the villain. I like the idea that when we see her studying the Darkhold, that she is going to try on her own to start fishing in the multiverse to get Billy and Tommy back, and by doing so, fracture it.
Mm-hmm.
Which then leads Strange into kind of being hey, you did a great job fighting Thanos, and you did a lot of cool magic. Stop.
Or it's another version of herself that she's going to have to fight. Another Wanda from another timeline where she's bad.
You hear that, Desmond?
Out as a villain.
So she's going to have to destroy herself or something, and Vision's going to have to help or tell her how to do it. Let's press that button.
I push the person button. This is just rampant fan service theorizing. If we see an evil Wanda in the multiverse that she has to show down with, if she even almost uses the words "my father," ... I'm going to shit. Cause I know I think on every version of you posting being excited about Wanda's costume, I've been she's cosplaying Apocalypse Magneto. It is his outfit from Age of Apocalypse.
They got that nice little M. Sorry, Desmond, I dropped you.
I know we're not going to get Michael Fassbender back as Magneto. I'm aware that's not going to happen, and I'm fine with it. But god damn, I would hex and meat puppet people. Is that Bulbasaur?
He's Bulbasaur.
He's winking. Hold on. Yes, Mama.
I would kill to see the just Elizabeth Olsen in the full Scarlet Witch getup next to Apocalypse Magneto so badly. I just need it. I need to see. I know in the comics currently, I don't know if it's been unretconned. In the comics currently, Wanda and Pietro are not Magneto's kids. It was a big reveal that they were, and then a few years ago there was another reveal. It's no, Magneto was lying to you. So I won't be brokenhearted.
Could you pinpoint how many years ago? Because I could wager a guess. What year did Age of Ultron come out?
It happened around because that was still at the point where Disney was let's just make sure that the X-Men are not marketable at all.
Well, I mean, they were just like, let's make sure the comics are definitely not identical to the MCU right now. Civil War 2.
I want to say that it was closer to Secret War, like the more modern Secret War, than it was to Age of Ultron. Like, I think that was one of like the big reveals while the world was ending and the Earths were all fusing together, but I could be wrong. It was definitely around Age of Ultron, though, because they were like, yeah, Wanda isn't a mutant. What are you talking about? I remember people were so afraid they were going to make her an Inhuman and just completely shit on the concept of mutants and throw them out the door. But yeah, very excited, very happy with the end of this. Any final thoughts from you guys or your plush friends?
I'm excited.
Bulbasaur.
I'm just excited. I want more. I want to see more. I want to know more. I want Wanda. I want her costume. So if anybody out there knows how to get that or make it for me, hit me up, because I want to cosplay Wanda and I've never wanted to cosplay something more than that. So I am excited. Yeah, that's my character now.
While you're making Alexis her Scarlet Witch costume, I don't even need the whole suit. Just fabricate me a Magneto helmet. Just to put that in here. Travis, closing thoughts?
I guess I'll take an Iron Man suit with a side of fries.
Listen, I'm the only one here that's needing something desperately.
Need. Get it? Like kneading dough.
It's like what my cats do.
I don't need the baby dragon. What the hell?
He's a squishy boy. He can take it.
He's a squishy boy. Okay.
I do this to him all the time.
Oh, okay.
He's fine.
Yeah. Show was fantastic. Can't wait for Falcon and the Winter Soldier next week.
I wonder if that's going to end up being your favorite. Both of you. I think maybe you might like it more than WandaVision.
I feel like, I think I said this on the show. I definitely said it to somebody somewhere, that I think WandaVision will be, I don't think WandaVision is better, but like Falcon and the Winter Soldier more.
I don't even think I can compare them. I feel like,
and that's my, yeah, like they're not going to be really comparable, but also like that's like enjoyment factor wise, I'll look at both and go, this was better made.
I guess it's like,
this is the one I enjoy. Like the this is brilliant, but I like this.
Yeah.
Even though I loved WandaVision, like it was fantastic.
It's like Mandalorian level comparing.
I feel like just based off of what we know is coming, I'm looking forward to like Moon Knight and Miss Marvel even more. Like those two off the top of my head. Like I so cannot wait to see Kamala Khan and get a canon version of the Inhumans in the MCU. Like we need to like the Terrigen Mist has to happen before we get to Ms. Marvel. Like that's a thing that needs to happen soon. And I fucking love Moon Knight. Like he's at the top of the list of like the my god,
Dracula, where's my goddamn money, you nerd?
But yeah, I think those are the ones I'm most excited for. But I'm still over the moon for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was the one I was most excited for until the other shows that got announced down the line. I keep wanting to say Blade, but I keep forgetting that Blade's going to be a movie.
I don't really care about that.
I keep forgetting it exists.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we already have Blade cast. I keep forgetting that we already know that it's Ali. Yeah, absolutely love the show. And like I said, next week, season review as a whole. We're going to talk about the show in its entirety with our pals over at CBC. And then the week after that is going to be our Snyder Cut review. And then the week after that, we'll be reviewing the first 2 episodes of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. All in one go. Because Snyder Cut just had to be difficult. That said, Lexi, where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
Lexi Lion 98 on Twitter and Acapella 98 on Instagram. And I'm still deciding on whether or not I want to try to make both of my accounts the same username. But for now, it is those 2.
Which one would you change?
I'd keep Acapella 98 for both.
That's what I thought.
Because your Twitter's the only one that's different across, like...
Everything.
Yeah.
Well,
Travis,
originally... Sorry. Real
No, you're
quick.
good.
Originally, my Instagram changed a few times. It was like Lexi Love 122498, and it was like Lexi Love 98, and then I changed it to Lexi Lion. And then our buddy Zwen from high school called me Acapella because of my initials and my last name's Capel. So then I switched it, and I tried to switch it on Twitter, and it was used. So I switched to Lexi Lion. Anyway, that was unneeded. Where can the people find you, Travis?
They can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Travis Political, and maybe on Twitch soon. I haven't decided on a name yet.
Should just do the Killer Spiro.
Maybe. We'll see.
We got people going solo, folks. This is about to be really interesting. I'm excited for this. I got to learn how to actually function with watching Twitch, because
I still don't know how to use it.
We barely figured it out to watch the Star Wars Schmodown tournament last year.
I find it so confusing with the subscribing and the following and the... It seems very odd.
Because subscriber is a lingo used for YouTube and Twitch, and they are very different things. So it's like, I did the same thing for a long time. I was like, okay, I want to subscribe to this person. Oh, that costs money? What?
Yeah, and then I don't know how to follow them. I have a Twitch.
But when you follow people, it looks like you're just like liking
the
stream because it's the heart. And that's how you know to follow them. Also, I think recently Twitch changed it so when you follow someone, you automatically set their notifications on, because I only get Julian's notifications for streams.
Julian.
Which is fine, because I don't usually watch Twitch anyway, and when I do, it's Julian, so works out. But yeah, more info on that probably next week, because I think I'll be able to start next week. That's part of what this is. I might move Spider-Man over there.
Yeah, and the bat symbol.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm excited for it. I'm not going to poke and prod, because I feel like you should be able to talk about your stuff on your own stuff, and I don't want to make you divulge.
Plus, it's not
plans
together yet, really.
Yeah, I gotta figure stuff out. I have to actually learn how to use OBS, so and Twitch.
Yes. You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552. You can find the Nerd Academy Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon page. Speaking of our $10 patrons, thank you to Case and Breon, the Waffle Wizard, Delta 9, and Zack Knaus. You guys help us make the content that we love to produce. Be sure to check out the $5 tier, where you get access to the Knights of the Nerd Republic versus series. Darth Malgus versus Kyle Katarn is already up there. And we promise
this week, we promise. I finished it today. You're almost done with it.
I'm almost done with it, but I couldn't get to the end today. I had
promise like Wednesday or Thursday, it'll be there. And then at some other point this month, I got to figure out the exact books, like the issues, but I want to do the New 52 meeting of the Justice League. to celebrate a good version of what Zack Snyder is going to do on March 18th.
Yo, it went for it. Yeah, and to support the Nerd Academy podcast even further. Oh yeah, also get the audio commentaries for Nerd Academy Movie Club. That is a thing on the $5 tier as well. If you want to support the Nerd Academy podcast even further, that is staying very well. To get the check out our student store on our website. Get take a look at our TeePublic. Get all manner of Nerd Academy merch goodies. With that, thank you all so very much for listening / watching. I feel like I'm supposed to say like and subscribe now because the YouTube thing.
Like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment. Did I miss any?
Say hello to Desmond.
Say hi to Desmond.
Yeah, in the comments, say hello to Desmond, please. And Bulbasaur if you want, but mostly Desmond.
Thank you all so much for listening or watching, whatever you're doing. And class dismissed.